Welcome to the B&B Podcast.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, to the B&B Podcast. This is your host, B. To get it quick, on episode 46, I want to tell you a story that can change your life. This is a testimony and a big shout out to Stephen Covey on his famous book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So let's get right into it. So May 2019, I was on the way to training for my job. It's in Georgia. I live in South Carolina. And this was a big goodbye from my family. I was taking the time away to get myself right for a stepping stone that could lead to a bright future in my path. So left my family, left my friends, left my home to build a new foundation. And it was a group of guys who were in the same training with me. It was like 5 people. So we came from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way to Augusta, Georgia. But in the meantime of that ride, I was reading a book. The only thing I had in my backpack was a book, some toothpaste and a toothbrush, and maybe something I can clean my face up with, like a face wash or something. That book was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And when I was reading it, there was a lot of similarities that I saw in my life that I wasn't taking care of. There are many things that I seen for granted. There are things I seen for granted, things that I shoved out the window. And I took the time to reflect my life upon this book. Everything that transcribed with this book, everything that blew up with this book, I saw in me. There was something that I couldn't really fix upon. There's a lot of things that the book was drawing me into. And one of the big things about the book, there's Stephen Covey. He was talking about a story about a girl, and he was in high school. He's like 17, so you know how we're going through that stage of meeting women. That's something natural to us. So he stumbled upon this beautiful girl that he was in high school with, but he didn't have the courage to ask this girl out on a date. The point I'm trying to make with this is, within my life, I've always been scared of something. I've always been stumbled upon. And the point I want to make with that, habit number 3, think big and think to win, is that sometimes you got to take those chances in life to get what you want. With Stephen, he was trying to get this girl, but he didn't have that winning mindset. And so that's something that I always lacked in my life, because during basketball, during my high school years, we were always losing. My 9th grade and my freshman year, my junior year, we had a good season, but even then we had some losses that still struck our hearts. We were still disappointed by it. My sophomore and senior year, especially my senior year, those were the worst years to play basketball, because all we did was lose. All we were doing is having frustration. But I don't think it was because it was just meant to be. I think it's because we didn't have that winning mindset. And that's the important thing with habit number 3. You got to have that winning mindset to keep going, to keep pushing. And that's something I didn't have. And I was reading this, I was like, dang, this is super relatable, because in high school, I didn't focus on women. I didn't have a winning mindset. I wasn't paying attention into what I was getting into. And that's why it's so important to always have that winning mindset, so you can keep pushing, you can keep going. And fast forward, after high school, I was in college. I was working at a grocery store at the time. I was just studying for my biology major, but that's all I did. It would be a continuous cycle of me working, going to school, and sleeping. And that's something I did not want in my life. But looking upon the book, it's something I was able to self-reflect on. And I was able to get out of that trend by making an ultimate decision that could change my lifestyle. And that's why it's important. Habit number 1, be proactive. Be proactive in your future. Because I'm telling you, if you're not a proactive person, if you're not a go-getter, you're going to stumble and you're going to get slept on, and it's going to hurt like a bitch. And I'm sorry for my language, but it's going to hurt, because you're going to have these regrets, you're going to have these doubts, and 5-10 years, like, dang, man, I could have done better with my life. I could have gone out to do something marvelous, something adventurous, something that could have pumped me up. But no, you wanted to stay complacent. You wanted to stay lazy. And that's why you're in that position where you're at right now. So habit number one, be proactive. Going into another habit, there was something that didn't stick right with my mindset. I always didn't have a good approach with things. I was really struggling, trying to find a long picture, like understanding what I wanted to do. Because back in high school, I wanted to do something within the medical field. First, it was pathology, then it was physician, then it was dermatologist, and then finally, I made my mind, hey, it's going to be a physician assistant. But I did not plan ahead, and that's the important thing. Habit number 4 is you got to first things first. You got to take care of yourself. What I mean by first things first, especially in my life, I didn't have that vision or that inspiration to build a plan, build a vision, build something that I can relate to, something I can write down. And ultimately, this would get me, it'll be more obtainable because it'll be baby step, baby step, baby step. But I didn't have that because I wasn't thinking for myself first. There are things I was not too distracted on, but there are things I was focusing my life on that I could have really relayed. I was focusing maybe on trying to get a girlfriend while I could have focused on building myself up for this physician assistant program. But ultimately that comes into play with me trying to balance my life with school and AP Bio, which ultimately brought me down a little bit because I didn't take care of the things that were most important to me. And now as I'm 23 years old, that's something I can give the knowledge to you, ladies and gentlemen, to say, hey, you got to be willing to make those sacrifices, those compromises, so later in life you can take care of those and still enjoy your life and still have that self-fulfillment. And that's why it's extremely important to dive into this book, because this book, ladies and gentlemen, is a life changer. When I was reading it, there was something that it drew me in, the first chapter. Stephen Covey's writings, the way he puts his perspective into words and the way his dialogue is within his book is really remarkable, because it can orient to the most random person, regardless of anything. Anybody can find a relatable situation within this book. This book will teach you that discipline, it'll teach you that motivation, it'll teach you valuable skills that many books today do not have. There are some books, I'm not discrediting those books, but this book is a good foundation to start upon, especially for those people who are young, especially like in high school where those mistakes are going to be made. But through our experiences, through my experiences with this book, that's something that you could change and you won't have to make the mistake later in your life. The book will also teach you to not accept things for how they are. This book will teach you to go get something. It will teach you to be creative, to have that imagination, because sometimes people they just give up and they have this state where they're like, oh, I'm just going to accept things how they are. I'm just going to relax. But no, you cannot relax, because ultimately you have a goal. The person I'm talking to within this video, you have a goal to change something. You have a goal to change your lifestyle. You have a goal to change your somebody in your family. Ultimately, you have a goal to bring upon the world. And that's something that's very important to me. You need to go and pursue that eventually, because you do not want to be stuck. You do not want to be stuck. The book is also a great learning lesson as far as military, as far as anything that's going to be related to a time of hardship, a job that's going to be very stressful, because it's going to place you in those predicaments where, hey, I have to think like this in order to accomplish my goals, in order to accomplish what's in front of me. And that's why I think with this book, especially if you're in the service, if you are doing a government job, if you're doing something, some dangerous contracting job, if you're in a different country, if you're outside a comfort zone, you need to read this book, because therefore it's going to allow you to understand what's going on. It's going to help you gravitate towards the things that you need to take care of. And ultimately, you'll step out that uncomfortable zone, and then you'll go into a more relaxed state where you could like, hey, I understand this. I get the concepts. And that's something that's going to help you accomplish and keep pushing so you want to give up. So ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, because to sum it up, ultimately it's a good book, good inspirational methods, and ultimately it will change your life. If you don't think this now, doubt me. I guarantee you that if you read this book, something is going to change. Something within your life is going to change. It may be small, it may be big, but big things come from small beginnings. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you watching episode 46. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Like the video, comment, man. I want those comments, and hit us up for any inquiries. Be safe, ladies and gentlemen.